So what flare services does Sage provide, and where do companies really need the help? I'm very excited to be part of the refinery implementation. All refineries that have NSPS JA flares will need to have a flare management in place by November of this year. So we see a lot of that work. It may even be last minute work that companies thought that maybe they could do it in-house, and they're going to reach out to Sage and say, hey, we need resources really to help us get this done. And so we're really preparing for that. We've really already started preparing for that by reaching out to some of our longer term clients and say, hey, are you ready for November? And really what I'm excited about is how that service is going to quickly kind of shift gears after probably this year and start focusing more on the petrochemical market. I mean, if there's I've heard 500 flares in refineries. There might be thousands of flares in the petrochemical market. There's other folks that have those numbers. I just don't. And but to see the industry start to turn and focus on good flare operation, I just really want to be a part of that. With my personal background in operations and environmental, it's a great area to focus and to really see what flare controls will look like in 10 years versus where they are today. It's going to be an exciting ride. It was very exciting to me to see folks with inside Sage like a Troy Boley, like a Derek Stuck, like a Herman Holm, that have really dedicated their last 2-3 years to compliance with new flare regulations. And quite frankly, I spent the day with Troy and I wanted to be part of it. So I'm really new to the issues. But I'm not new to plants. I've been in a plant environment most of my career. About 2/3 of my career has been in plants, either in the environmental staff or in the operations staff. And every plant that I've been in has a flare. So it is just the scale of what the issues are and how for years it was something really overlooked by both industry and regulators. It was very exciting to me to see as really the whole industry and regulators are now starting to turn and figure out that these staples, these main pieces of control equipment for our industry is now being focused on like it's never been focused on. And really, quite frankly, just the things that we thought were standard, like a destruction efficiency of 98%, we're finding out now that for years, potentially the industry has been oversteaming their flares and really having emissions that even the operators of the facility didn't realize. So just to be part of that turn of the ship, if you will, to see how both regulators and industry is why I'm involved in flares. I'm certainly not the experts of some of the folks I just mentioned, but when you are presented with an opportunity, you just kind of roll up your sleeves and get to work, and that's why I'm involved in flares today. I'm trying to service folks in and around the Houston area, really anywhere in Texas, and help them with their flare compliance. And the focus has been so refinery based over the last 5 years with the refinery MACT rule that's now been proposed. I'm really interested in what the petrochemical market is going to do now, and that's starting to happen with the ethylene information request from the EPA. I think very quickly the attention is going to turn away from refining and into the petrochemical marketplace. So how do I get involved in flares? Really, I just raised my hand. I told the leaders with Inside Sage that are the technical experts that I want to be involved in this process. And through that, I've been really just another resource to our industry friends to get an assessment done, to figure out where they are with compliance, where the regulations might be going, and just really dive in and try to figure out what's best for the client. And so flare compliance, flare management, and in the future, really just maximizing the flare controls We haven't even touched on that. How companies today operate their flares to how they're going to operate them in the future is just a profound shift in the industry, and I'm excited to be a part of that.